Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I couldn't thank enough for all blessings that I got in my life. I thank God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one and only to turn to. I thank Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the greatest teacher for all Muslims, to Mrs. Hoyer, the principal of English Language Education Department, to Mrs. Dewi Kejanawati, the lecturer of academic speaking. All dear friends will be the future of Indonesia. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I know that you are so tired this afternoon after 4 groups presenting. And now, I'd like to invite you guys to do something. What is that? Okay, if I say, good afternoon everybody, how are you? And then you have to answer, just fine. Are you fine? Are you fine? No. Yeah, I just want to invite you to pretend that you are fine this afternoon. Okay, do you get what I mean, guys? Okay, let's check. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Just fine.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Just fine.
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to me. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Just fine.
Okay. Can you sing together with me? Okay, let's stand up, everyone. Stand up, please. Is it hard for you to move your body? Yeah. Okay, so the first lyric is this one, the first sentence. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Just fine.
Great. Okay, and then this is twice. You do that twice. You sing that one twice, and also continued by good afternoon to you, good afternoon to me, good afternoon everybody. How are you? Okay, let's sing together, everyone. 1, 2, 3, go. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Just fine. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Just fine. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to me. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? Just fine. Alright. I will not make you all cry. Thanks ever so much, and please be safe. Wow, just friend? Yeah, we are just. Okay. Well, I am Luhung Badranuhdin, and here I'm the Master of Ceremony and also the moderator of this seminar. And also, please allow me to guide you this event by these agendas. The first agenda is opening. The second agenda is materials by some speakers. And also the next agenda is Q&A, question and answer. And we go to the last agenda, which is closing. So guys, now, before we go further, let's start our program today by praying together. May God give us the easiness to learn, to understand, to know all the materials, and also to run this agenda well. And let's start our program today by praying. Pray, begin. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Okay, so as the moderator, probably these materials, this topic is really interesting for us. Yeah, because we are going to present about sex education. I know it's a little bit taboo for all people, but this is now, it's very necessary and also very important for us, because if we don't know or we have we don't have any knowledge about sex education. So yeah, as the news we have, guys. So during the pandemic, it was last year. So when the pandemic was 9 months, you know what was the fact at the time? When the pandemic went 9 months, so did you know what happened at the time? I also heard news from my sister because my sister is a midwife in a hospital, and yeah, you know, guys, the fact was a lot of young age born a baby. For sure, it was out of a marriage, and yeah, it's because they don't or they didn't know about sex education. So we can see from the news here. The first is more about the sex abuse increases during pandemic, and also the abortion also increases during the pandemic. So today we would like to educate you guys about sex education. So we do hope that we won't get the same disaster, right? Let's now go to the first speaker. Please help me to welcome Shintia Yunistria by the topic sex education is important no more than ever.
Alright, thank you Mas Luhung for the time. And okay, next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. And I got the materials about the sex education is important now more than ever. So how could it be? Next slide. Okay. What is sex education? So first of all, I want to ask you about when you talk about sex education, what is the first stigma that comes to your mind? Is it contraceptives or pregnancies and childbirth, or maybe husband and wife relationship? Alright, so I want you to raise your hand and give your opinion about what is sex education according to your opinion. Please. Maybe Mas Chandra with me?
Chandra.
Yes, Mas Chandra. Give your opinion about what is sex education.
Okay.
Can you please? Yeah.
Menurut saya, sex education adalah pendidikan seks yang harus diketahui sejak dari kecil. Sejak dari kecil itu sangat penting bagi kita sebagai calon orang tua. Kita harus memberikan tentang edukasi tentang seks. Kenapa begitu? Karena anak kecil itu waktu nanti kalian punya anak atau punya adik, itu pasti mereka tuh bertanya, kenapa sih kok gini-gini gitu waktu kenapa sih kok bapak, misalnya bapak dan ibu kok ciuman gitu, kenapa seperti itu? Kan ciuman maksudnya ciuman pipi gitu loh, bukan yang lain ya, bukan yang lain. Kenapa begitu? Kayak gitu. Jadi sex education penting diedukasikan sejak dari kecil, begitu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And wait a minute. I have a Norwegian chocolate for you.
Thank you,
Yes. So, yeah. Of course, you have your own thoughts in understanding the word sex education. But sex education is more than that. And there are sex education, but if I narrow it down from the expert opinion that is most relevant to the understanding of sex education is according to Uthman At-Tawil. Sex education is to provide lessons and understanding to teenagers, but both boys and girls, women, from the time she entered puberty, and frankly with her about issues related to sex, instinct, and marriage. Woman from the time she entered puberty, okay, so that when she grows into teenagers and understands the problems of life, he has understood the things that are lovable and unlovable, and he will always behave in an Islamic manner, and will not indulge his passions and do not justify any means to achieve his goals. Sex education does not only discuss the husband and wife relationship, which is often described in our society, but sex education discusses how a teenager can apply good norms in association so that they can sort out what they can and cannot do. And the next question from me is, since when can sex education be given? But yeah, it has answered by Mas Chandra, but maybe someone can give opinions. I have another Norwegian chocolate in my pouch, so please raise your hand and give opinion about since when can sex education be given? Okay, Mbak Andini. Okay. The question is, since when sex education can be given?
I think since children after they are in the kindergarten or start from 7 years old, their parents can give sex education.
Alright, thank you, Mbak Andini, for the answer.
Alright, give applause to
Alright, the answer of Mbak Andini is the same of the state by Setiawanti Marsudi, who is the Executive Director of the Indonesian Family Planning Association or PKBI, Program Keluarga Berencana Indonesia. At preschool age, sexual education for children that can be given is about sex and gender. Of course, the material provided is age-appropriate material, for example, such as introducing the differences between male and female gender, how to behave like their respective genders, and how to maintain body hygiene, such as sanitation after urinating and defecating. And of course, the biggest role in this is parents. Parents must know how to convey to a child in a language that is understood by him. In addition, parents are the first door that can be accessed by a child in understanding this, so the children can get valid information. Because sensitive information that is hidden can trigger children to seek from other sources, one of which is the digital world, which has unlimited information. Next one. Alright, next point is about how important sex education is. Many people consider it taboo to talk sex to their children, even if it is considered that sex education will encourage teenagers to have sex. Worse, most people still view sex education as if it makes it vulgar, even though this mindset is misguided view. And so, well, here are some reasons why sex education is very important for teenagers, as reported on the Options for Sexual Health.org site, including first is preventing sexual deviations and disorders of children. Second, overcoming children's psychological disorders. Third, provide knowledge in dealing with child development. Fourth, explain the dangers of having free sex. Fifth, maintaining moral values from an early age. Maybe you just realize how important sex education is because nowadays there are so many cases as promiscuity that appear among teenagers. Free promiscuity is currently triggered by increasingly sophisticated technological advance and also due to global economic factors. Mothers should also know adolescence is a period dominated by sexual problems. Therefore, as a parent, you must teach and provide proper sex education to your child. Never be ashamed to explain to your child so that later your child will not fall into unwanted promiscuity. Sex education important now, right? According to the Indonesian Demographic and Health Survey in 2017, showed that 8% of men and 2% of women aged 15 to 24 years had sexual intercourse. As many as 11% pregnant out of wedlock. Data from Rizky Indonesia, which conducted a survey in 2019, state that 33% of Indonesian teenagers had sexual relations. Students themselves can fall into the category of teenagers because in general the age range of students is 18 to 25 years. The so-called adolescents are aged 10 to 24 years. Various reasons were put forward to justify this behavior ranging from wrong association, economic benefits, and others. As a result, cases of out-of-wedlock pregnancy, abortion, early marriage can even increase HIV or AIDS. Many parents feel confused or do not know how to start teaching sex education to their children. One thing you need to remember is that sex education in children is different from teaching children to have sex. Sex education is knowledge for children to recognize their body functions, understand ethics and social norms, as well as the consequences of their actions. Without sex education, children's curiosity can result in making unwise decisions when exploring their sexuality. Adolescence is a period of puberty where adolescents experience many changes both physically and psychological due to hormonal fluctuations. To prevent your child from engaging in harmful sexual behavior, guide them to understand the function of sex and how to cope with the change they experience during puberty. Invite them to have an open-minded discussion so that the youth feels comfortable sharing their thoughts and questions with their parents. Yeah, so that for me, they will be continued by the next speakers. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum.
Well, give a round of applause to Sister Shintia for sex education. Okay, so guys, here that I can underline or highlight here, so sex education is to provide lesson and understanding to teenagers, both boys and girls. Okay, for sure, the purpose or the goals of it to prevent the young age to have sex out of the marriage or wedlock. Okay, so now we are going to the second speaker. Ding, 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 ding. Please help me to welcome. Wait a minute, sister. And welcome, Sister Sefia Karisma by the topic What else can sex education do? Give a round of applause.
Oke. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Shintia Putri, and you can call me Sefia. Here, I want to share with you guys about information or knowledge about what else can sex education do. First of all, I want to ask you guys if you know what else can sex education do. Please raise your hand, and then I will give you a Mexican chocolate. Pindah negara lagi.
Pertanyaannya
What else can sex education do?
yang mau coklat ya.
Ya, menurut saya sex education sangatlah penting, even itu di anak kecil, karena pengalaman ponakan saya yang sangat tidak menyenangkan terkena sex abuse di Indomaret. Iya.
Wow.
Iya, padahal dia masih usia TK kelas A, usia berapa?
Wow.
5. Iya.
Menurut prihatin.
Iya, jadi secara paksa mau tidak mau orang tuanya dan nenek dan saya sebagai pretty auntie ya. Mengajarkan apa itu sex education dan badan mana yang tidak boleh dipegang kecuali keluarganya. Itu termasuk sex education kan? Iya. Terima kasih. Okay, thank you Mbak Hana. So the answer. Okay. What else can sex education do? Sex education help people gain the information, skills, and motivation to make healthy decisions about sex and sexuality. Sex education in high quality in learning and teaching about a broad variety of topics related to sex and sexuality. Exploring values and belief about this topic and gaining the skills that are needed to navigate the relationship and manage one's own sexual health. Okay. This is a four aspect. What can sex education do? What can sex educate us? The first is education or human development. In education or human development, including reproduction, puberty, sexual orientation, and gender identity. Including reproduction means in sex education, we learn about reproduction health, especially for girls. In here, learn about sexual risks in early reproductive health education. Okay, then puberty. In here, learn about what happens during puberty for both boys or girls. What can girls or boys in puberty do and can't do? And then the last, sexual orientation and gender identity. In here, learn about how they look. And there are only opposite gender. In here means learn about person's emotional and then physical and sexual attraction to others. Okay. Number second is relationship. Sex education through in relationship is including families, friendship, romantic relationship, and then romantic relationship in dating. Then the third, sexual health, including sexually transmitted disease like HIV/AIDS, syphilis, and others. And then contraception and pregnancy. And then the last, society and culture. Society and culture, including gender roles, diversity, and sexuality in the media. I think sexuality in the media is more in hype right now because when you open your YouTube, sex education can find on there. Or one example is female identifying sexual empowerment on TikTok. Young women have been openly talking about female sexuality. Okay, that's it for me. And then the next material will be given by Alfina. Thank you.
Give a round of applause once more to Sister Sefia. Yay! Okay, good afternoon everybody, and how are you? Because you are still fine. So let us continue to the next speaker. Yes, here we go. The Health Minister of Indonesia in the future, Miss Alfina. Amalia Alfina. Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. Now let's move to the next material. Is about sex education for collegians. Next slide please. Okay, according to survey by Mr. Nadim, 77% later is harassment in campus. And the next, according Mendikbudristek, kekerasan seksual di perguruan tinggi sudah menjadi pandemi. Sudah menjadi budaya ya. So, how do you feel about the news? Can you tell me about your feel? I have Belgian chocolate. If Shintia have Norwegian chocolate, I have Belgian chocolate for you. Anybody can share your feels? Okay, no one, yeah. Science. Oh, yes, hi.
She likes chocolate.
Perasaan ya, feel. Sebenarnya sangat sedih ya. Ya karena prihatin gitu, padahal mereka lebih senior daripada kita. Tapi malah mereka yang menjadikan mahasiswa sebagai apa itu namanya? Korban fiktif. 77% diakui ada kekerasan seksual di kampus. Itu apakah dosennya memiliki hukuman yang setimpal atau tidak?
Tidak. Dosa tidak.
Tidak.
Tidak. So far tidak.
Tidak. Iya. Setahu saya, informasi yang saya dapatkan di salah satu universitas di Jember, juga dosennya juga melakukan kekerasan seksual kepada mahasiswanya sendiri. Padahal itu adalah keponakannya sendiri yang berkuliah di salah satu universitas yang dia mengajar. Seperti itu. Di mana hati nuraninya? Iya. Okay, thank you so much, Anna, for sharing your feeling. Now let's move to our material. Sexual behavior outside of marriage by students. So many students are pregnant and have children, so that their life as a student cannot continue their studies because they have to return to their area because there is no one to care for and provide for their children. There are also those who have to take leave due to childbirth, and there are those who pose a risk to lack of information about pregnancy and the consequence of planning to abort the fetus in the womb. The purpose of this service is that students can gain knowledge about the impact and dangers that occur due to free sex for their health, physiology, and life in future. The method used provide socialization and assistance to students to avoid free sex and behavior and pregnancy out of wedlock. Cases of sexual harassment on campus are again a hot topic in Indonesia. According to a study published in PLOS 1 on November 2018, comprehensive pre-college sexual education, including skill-based training against unwanted sex, can be an effective strategy to prevent sexual violence on campus. Sexual violence prevention must adopt lifelong perspective, including teaching young people about healthy and unhealthy sexual relationships, as well as how to say no when sexual interaction is undesirable, and yes when it is desirable. Teaching sex education strictly from a heterosexual and cisgender viewpoint alienates students who may not align with such identities, leaving entire demographics vulnerable to harmful situations once they become sexually active. Next slide, please. This can mean that what they learn in their sex education course may no longer even apply to them. It is responsibility of public educational institutions to provide all-encompassing sexual education that is accessible to all students. However, for those who don't receive such education in high school, there are organizations on campus that support more an inclusive curriculum, sexual assault can be a result of campus policies and education must improve to combat the issue finalists. Okay, next slide. Please, guys. Next is unknown about sex education. Because sex education is important, as previously explained, as students, we should at least know what we need to know at our age, such as free sex, HIV/AIDS, pregnant outside of marriage, and abortion. And now, for more explanation, will be explained by Yohana and Wenny. So that's all for me. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that's about sex abuse in the college. And well, you know, in the latest news that we got probably from our neighbor, it's not the MP for sure, our neighbor, even over there, it's Muslim university, but one of the lecturer got the sex abuse. It's also, it was announced by Radio Andika, if you know, probably guys. Alright, so now, after talk about the sex education and also about sex education in the college, so now we are going to go to the cases of unknown about sex education. So please help me to welcome our next speaker, a good mother in the future, Yohana Octaviana. Yay, give her a round of applause for Yohana.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Yes, okay, next topic about unknown about sex education. Next one. The topic about free sex. What is free sex? And what your opinion? Okay, please.
My opinion about free sex is kegiatan tersebut yang dilakukan ketika dilakukan beberapa kali dengan orang yang berbeda yang mengakibatkan beberapa kemungkinan selain berbeda yaitu penyakit kelamin menular.
Thank you, Mbak Dewi.
Loh, gak dapat coklat.
Aku tidak mau bahas coklat.
Woi.
Okay, the answer from Mbak Dewi is true. Free sex is normally for behavior among teenager or someone who is not married. But among people who are married, and if they do it with someone others, then his husband or his wife is also includes free sex. Free sex actually has a simple definition. Sexual behavior carried out by someone with other people before the marriage, both that has been legally, and or religious legal entities. So, and what kind of social behaviors? Of course, starting for holding hands, afternoon kissing, and no oral sex or petting. There are impressions on teenagers about perception of sexual behavior, and some of whom think that free sex is
of love, even something that is communicable also, there is not to be afraid. And there are also a growing opinion that sexual behavior is something interesting and needs to be tested, or the sex education. And meanwhile, all of this is not balanced with religious and social aspects or norms, especially the lack of appropriate and responsible information regarding the adverse effects of free sex on health. And next, impact of free sex on our health include physical impact of free sex. For women under the age of 17 years who have had free sex will be at high risk of cancer cervix and is contracting sexually transmitted disease and HIV/AIDS. It can cause infertility and even death. And the next, the physiological impact of free sex that is often forgotten when doing free sex is that there will always be feeling of guilt, anger, sadness, lonely, and confusion, stress, insomnia, hallucination, and many others. And how to avoid these promiscuity even with the accused word? Actually, everything is returned to each of us individually, preventing something that must be operative from various aspects such as themselves, parents, at school, or the community. And other aspects must be balanced by religious and social norms. Next. And the next, the topic about health. HIV is number one killer infection disease in the world. According to data from World Health Organization atau WHO, in 2017, 940,000 people died of HIV. More than 30% of all new HIV infections globally are estimated to occur among adolescent age 40 to 24 years, followed by children who were infected at birth. Growing up to be teenagers who have to deal with their HIV positive status. HIV is human immunodeficiency virus. Is a virus that damages the immune system by infecting and destroying CD4 cells. If more and more CD4 cells are destroyed, the body immune system will become so that it's vulnerable to various diseases. Okay, HIV transmission occurs through contact with patient body fluids, such as blood, sperm, vaginal fluid, anal fluid, and breast milk. Please note, HIV not transmitted from air, water, sweat, saliva, mosquito bites, or physical touch. Although there is no treatment method, in most cases, a person only finds out that he or she has HIV after seeing the doctor due to a serious illness caused by a weakened immune system. Serious illnesses include chronic diarrhea, pneumonia, or breast toxoplasmosis. And some of the factors that can increase the risk of transmission are as follows: having eczema, condoms and using strings atau jarum suntik secara bersamaan. And the root of the problem of HIV/AIDS is actually presents. And those efforts to stop the spread of HIV and AIDS will be effective by first preventing sex that development in society, and secondly applying the rules that perfectly regulate social relations between men and women. And thirdly, applying strict sexual violators. Therefore, this effort will be covered by the rules in the religious and ethical system. So, state the application is religious, ethical, or moral rules as a whole in solving this problem. The schools is easily expected to disappear from the face of this earth, especially in Indonesia. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Well, guys, it hasn't been completed yet without the explanation for our next speaker. Yes, and here we go. Please give a round of applause to Wenny Elistya by the topic pregnancy out of wedlock and abortion.
Okay, everyone, good afternoon. I'm Wenny Elistya, here on to talk about the last chapter, which is about pregnancy out of wedlock and abortion. So, what is pregnancy out of wedlock? Anyone want to answer? Comment. No one? Okay. I will read the definition for you. Pregnancy out of wedlock is where a woman, of course, is a woman, becomes pregnant when she is not married. I'll give you the example. There is a woman, and let's say she is 20 and still in college. She has a boyfriend. They spend time together, they go everywhere, they do everything they want, but one day they did something too much. You know what I mean? Something too much?
Yeah.
And then what happened? What happened to the woman? After doing something too much, what happened? What answer? I'll give you chocolate.
Pregnant dari apa? Out of wedlock.
Apa itu?
Like you didn't get married, and then you play. Biasanya kan nggak cuma keinginan sendiri ya. Keinginan sendiri. Ya kan ada yang berkeinginan sendiri, ada yang paksaan. Ya nggak sih? Ada yang secara ikhlas kan? Iya nggak sih?
Iya.
Dan ada yang paksaan. Ya kayak polisi kemarin. Iya nggak sih?
Oh iya.
Terus dari mereka melakukan seperti itu, dan akhirnya yang laki-laki tidak mau bertanggung jawab dan tidak ini terus tadi. Mungkin itu kayak apa sih, sebelum sampai itu terjadi, mungkin kayak sehabis mereka kena itu maksudnya enggak gitu, maksudnya kayak kan ada yang korban, korbannya itu sama pelakunya kan ada yang dipaksa gitu kan. Dan mungkin dari yang korbannya itu terlalu lemah, jadi tidak bisa melawan dan sampai kejadian terus bisa langsung melapor saja ke orang tuanya kalau dia habis mendapat tindakan yang tidak mengenakan dan tidak baik dan buruk sekali. Nah, bisa langsung melapor ke orang tuanya, nanti jadi tidak telat penanganannya. Soalnya saya itu pernah baca suatu kasus juga, katanya itu ada yang kayak gitu, masih anak kecil, masih pelajar, maksudnya kayak SMP. Di artikel yang saya baca itu SMP. Nah, dia itu dapat perlakuan seperti itu, terus langsung melapor ke orang tuanya dan langsung ditindak oleh pihak yang berwajib. Dan itu ternyata ada seperti obatnya atau apa itu yang membuat dia tidak jadi tekdung, kan masih kecil gitu. Jadi dia masih bisa melanjutkan sekolah dan belajarnya meskipun dia kena mentalnya sudah kena, tapi tidak terlanjur sampai gitu.
Ya,
Apa topik nggak sih? Oke, thank you.
Okay, so yes, that's right. The woman get pregnant even she is not married yet. That's what is called pregnancy out of wedlock. But if the boy and the girl decide to get married, it's called married by accident. Then when the baby is born, it's called born out of wedlock. But what if they don't want to get married or they don't want to be born? This one. Maybe you might doing abortion. This very possible they do. Abortion is the termination of pregnancy with the expulsion of the fetus or embryo before it has the ability to survive outside the uterus, resulting in its death. But guys, for your information, actually abortion is permissible for medical reasons. Jadi aborsi boleh dilakukan jika ada jika ada ya seperti contohnya itu kehamilan ektopik, yaitu di mana janin berada di luar kandungan. Jadi itu harus diaborsi karena janinnya tidak bisa berkembang dengan baik dan malah bisa membahayakan. But remember to this, illegal abortion and abortion simply because someone don't want the baby to be born are considered homicide. In other words, they kill the fetus that is entitled to live. Next slide, please. So, now is about the consequences of getting pregnant out of wedlock. So there are two paths that can be chosen. The first is maintaining pregnancy, jadi mereka mempertahankan kehamilannya. Atau yang kedua is unwanted pregnancy, atau menggugurkan kandungannya. Both of them have different consequences. This one is the result of maintaining pregnancy. First is emergence of fear. They will be afraid of the family's response, afraid of the person who got them pregnant will be irresponsible, and afraid of the insults they might get. And the second, forced to marry or continue pregnancy without marriage. I've told you that this is called marriage by accident. That is feared badly by friends and society. Of course, they might get insult bad response from their friends or society. Next. Okay, this is the result of abortion pregnancy by abortion. The first one is death. They could have died. This is very dangerous because they can die from heavy bleeding or because of septic infection around the womb. The second, become barren. This might happen when someone has an abortion in an appropriate way or not through a doctor. Jadi bisa mengalami kemandulan atau gangguan kesuburan jika aborsinya tidak dilakukan dengan cara yang tepat atau tidak melalui medis. The third is someone will regret loss of self-worth and maybe trauma. And the last is imprisonment for abortion. This is for abortion that is illegal and not for medical reasons. Okay, so pregnant out of wedlock and abortion have a correlation. It's like a relationship between cause and effect. All decisions taken when pregnant out of wedlock must be carefully thought out first, because the decisions will affect the future of someone and the baby as well. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Well, everyone, after hearing to all the speakers and also their explanation and also okay, so now we are in the question and answer section. And here I just allow 2 questions only because the time is limited. Okay, so please come here, Mas Chandra.
Sebenarnya ini nggak tanya sih, sharing aja soal yang tadi itu yang apa, kita harus mengedukasi anak sejak dini. Itu yang masalah kenapa tadi bapak bisa ciuman pipi kayak gitu. Jadi kita harus sebagai orang tua atau kakak, misalnya cowok ya, kakak kita harus bisa memberitahu adiknya tuh bahwa ciuman ini rasa kasih sayang. Jadi kamu boleh cium keluargamu, kakak, adik, bapak, ibu, nenek dan lain sebagainya. Seperti itu. Jadi kita orang tua harus bisa memberikan edukasi sesederhana mungkin kepada adik kita atau anak-anak kita nanti, seperti itu. Itu yang permasalahan yang Mbak Hana tadi sederhana. Saya turut prihatin atas kasus itu. Jadi di situ kita bisa memberi edukasi tentang tubuh kita, tubuh bagaimana yang boleh dan tidak boleh dipegang pada orang lain kan gitu, seperti itu. Lalu untuk yang masalah pandemi pandemi seksual ya, itu sangat prihatin sekali saya. Mungkin tadi dari Mbak Risa tadi kan bilang kalau lapor aja ke orang tua atau lapor aja ke pihak berwajib. Nah, for your information aja ya.
It's not easy.
Oh ya, it's not easy, ya betul. Itu banyak mereka yang korban malah menjadi pelaku karena si pelaku yang sebenarnya itu mengancam si korban.
Oh yeah, it's like playing victim ya.
Ya, betul.
Playing victim.
Ya, mengancam, banyak yang mengancam bisa nanti dibunuh. Nanti saya kasih tahu ke warga-warga lu kalau kamu pernah gini sama aku kayak gitu. Sebagai warga yang baik juga, kalau misalnya ada kejadian seperti itu, tolong si korban disupport, jangan diejek. Banyak orang yang malah mengejek si korban seperti itu. Dan kasus itu udah banyak sekali ya, seperti di kampus sebelah di Kediri itu kasusnya saya nggak tahu lanjutnya kasusnya itu gimana lagi itu selanjutnya. Dan alhamdulillahnya nih ada kabar baik, ada tentang Permendikbud nomor 30 tahun 2021 tentang PPKS. Ini dibuat oleh Kak Nadiem Makarim barusan beberapa waktu lalu. Di situ ada 21 poin tentang pencegahan dan penanganan kekerasan seksual. Jadi kita bersyukur sekali ada Permendikbud tersebut. Lalu semoga aja isi dari Permendikbud tersebut bisa diterapkan sebaik mungkin, dan hukuman yang dijatuhkan kepada pelaku harus sebanding. Jangan kayaknya di Indonesia itu kayak seks bebas itu kayaknya udah biasa deh. Menurut saya loh ya, udah biasa, udah kayak permainan biasa gitu. Jadi banyak orang-orang yang melakukan seks bebas bukan waktu maksudnya sebelum menikah ya, betul. Udah sih, terima kasih, itu aja. Jadi melapor kepada pihak berwajib itu tidak semudah kita membalikkan tangan seperti ini. Ya, oke. Terima kasih, sekian, thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Mas Chandra, for the additional information about the rules of the minister and also about the news and others. Alright, so I have one slide again. Yeah, please, Mbak Anini. Yes, because our time is limited. Question or additional? You want to discuss first? Alright. Sorry, probably you can text us for the next or for the further question, alright? Because we have limited time, so we still have one more group to present. Okay. Yes, Sister Ani. Yes, please. Two questions, only one, I guess. Okay. Yeah, only one question. Yes, okay, yeah, please. So what is the question? Yes, yeah.
Sudah ajukan semua saja. Yang pertama, ya kan buat pilihan, misalnya disuruh menunjukkan kandungan atau disuruh pertahankan apa yang ada. Yang kedua, buat usia berapa kan seseorang laki-laki atau perempuan itu ideal untuk merit. Thank you.
Okay, wow, that's a very good question. And give applause to Sister Andini. Yeah, the first question is about what do you prefer to choose? Which one is the better one between abortion or we keep the pregnancy? Is it true? Yes, and also the second question is which is the exact age for the man or woman to get married and also to have a baby? Alright. Okay, so I would like to answer the question from Sister Anthony. The first question about which one is the best one or the best way? We keep the pregnancy or we do the abortion? Okay, first of all, for sure, the first we have to prevent to do that thing. So we make which causes the pregnancy out of the wedlock or in the young age. Jadi yang pertama harusnya kita mencegah ya. Jadi bukan kedua itu kita mempertahankan kehamilan atau aborsi, tidak. Yang pertama yang saya sarankan adalah kita harus mencegah ya, mencegah. That's why we talk about sex education. It's one of the way how to prevent or provide the lesson about sex. Okay. Yang pertama itu. Yang pertama kita harus bisa mencegahnya, teman-teman. Alright. Yang kedua, mungkin apa apabila ada, bukan kita ya, tapi mungkin ada teman atau saudara kita yang mengalami hal yang tidak mengenakan, alhamdulillah kembali. So we have to know the age first, okay? Kalau umurnya terlalu muda atau masih kecil sekali, itu mungkin kandungan, apabila kandungan itu dipertahankan, itu tidak akan baik juga. Mungkin ketika lahir nanti ada kecacatan fisik atau kecacatan mental. Karena apa? Misalnya telur ataupun rahim ya itu belum benar-benar berkembang dengan baik ya, seperti itu. Terus kemudian juga apabila umurnya sudah dinyatakan sudah cukup, mungkin ya ini adalah pilihan yang berat, tergantung dari si orangnya. Kalau apabila dari kesehatan ya lebih baik dilanjutkan. Karena apa? Dari the explanation, jadi kalau kita sudah melakukan aborsi itu dampaknya lebih membahayakan. Ya. Jadi dampaknya lebih membahayakan karena apa? Satu, mungkin nanti bakalan benar-benar rahimnya itu benar-benar rusak dan tidak bisa memiliki anak, apalagi kalau ada kista dan seterusnya, ada kanker serviks dan selanjutnya. Terus kemudian juga di sana mungkin apabila aborsinya itu salah juga bisa keduanya yang meninggal. Seperti berita yang kemarin itu ada ada hubungan di luar nikah, kemudian si perempuannya itu hamil dan kemudian dikasih putas di minumannya. Iya, di news, jadi dikasih putas guys. Several months ago, kalau nggak salah 2 bulan yang lalu, ada di daerah Wates atau Pelosok Klaten kalau nggak salah. Nah, itu dikasih potas. Dino putas. Putas. Kalau kalian mencari ikan, nah itu nanti
biar ikannya mati.
Biar ikannya
nggak mati sih, mabok gitu.
Mabok. Itu. Jadi efeknya itu beracun ya kurang lebih seperti cyanida lah. Ya, nah itu pun juga akhirnya mengakibatkan keduanya meninggal. Jadi jadinya nggak hanya jadinya, maksudnya tapi juga ibunya seperti itu. Oke, mungkin any additional? Yeah, yes. The Health Minister of Indonesia in the future. Yes, please.
Saya menjawab pertanyaan yang kedua dari Mbak Ani. Usia ideal perempuan dan laki-laki untuk menikah. Sebenarnya dari peraturan pemerintah itu aturannya yang perempuan yaitu umurnya 20 tahun, untuk yang laki-laki umurnya 25. Nah, sedangkan dari BKKBN umur wanita yang siap rahimnya itu baru berumur 21 tahun. Jadi sebenarnya idealnya kalau mau menikah di umur 20 tahun, hamilnya itu kalau mau yang untuk rahim yang sehat setelahnya itu umurnya 21 tahun.
Besok saya pas ya.
Amin.
Terima kasih atas pertanyaannya.
Okay. Well, thanks ever so much, Sefia, for the additional answer. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. I know that you are really interested in this topic, but we have to close our program as fast as possible, right? So the last is about the conclusion. So guys, sex education is to provide lessons and understanding to teenagers, both boys and girls, about the sex. And also it can help the people gain the information, skills and motivation. So it's not only the education, but it can motivate the people to pretend about having free time. And also, there are four aspects here: education or human development, and also relationship, sex, health, and society and culture. And also, we know that around us there are a lot of cases of it. So I do hope that we can prevent to have a free sex. And also, if you really want to do that or you are curious about that, so please get married first, okay? Yeah, getting married in the university, is it okay, ma'am? Yeah, it's okay, guys. Okay, so even you want to get married and also you want to continue your study activities, it's possible. Okay, so don't be afraid of that. Because if in a senior high school, probably you are forbidden to get married, but at college it is really possible. And also, the cases as well about the sex abuses and also the negative impact of free sex is about its HIV/AIDS and also pregnancy out of the wedlock as the consequences, which is explained, and also the abortions. So that's all from the explanation and also our presentation about sex education. And one thing and also one wish that I do hope that you would do the free sex before having marriage. Alright? And we do apologize for all the mistakes that we made to guiding you everyone, and let's close our program today by reciting Alhamdulillah together. Alhamdulillah. And see you next year everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ini